All right, the agenda of today, a couple of words on the history of the company and how sustainability actually has been part of our DNA all along. It comes with measuring, so if you want to know where you are in the process, you need to measure. And we will wrap up with a couple of words on SDG 17, which stands for partnership. Our history. So Moderna Products was founded back in 1932 by my grandfather. He started a button manufactory. When my parents were the second generation, jumped in, they initiated the shift towards the production of pet supplies. And when my husband and myself jumped in the late 90s, we fully focused on bringing innovative products to the market. In 2014, we opened our second production facility in South Carolina in the US, which is basically servicing all of North America. And in 2022, we moved to our brand new headquarters in Belgium. We are convinced that the world is built on great partnerships, which we will explain later on. We are a global partner, so we operate out of two locations, one in Belgium and one in the US. They are 24/7 production sites. Together, combined, we process 11 million kilograms of polyprop annually. We do that together with 160 team members, and we service more than 70 countries worldwide. Two images of Moderna today. So on the left, you see a building of our brand new headquarters, and on the right, you see a picture of our production facility in the US. This is a quote I picked up a while ago, and it actually was kind of an eye-opener or wake-up call, explaining that the future is built on those who prepare for it today. So sustainability is part of that, and it is actually time for action. Because sustainability at Moderna is not driven by legislation, but through our DNA, we have been preparing for it a while ago. It's all started back in 2018, realizing we need to prepare ourselves and take action. Before we were somewhat maybe misunderstood as being a plastics manufacturer. In some cases, perception becomes a reality. And with all the reporting on plastic soup, etc., it was clear that we did not want to be involved in that. In fact, we want to be part of the solution and not part of the problem. A strong tool are the 17 SDGs from the United Nations. They can be used by every organization, big or small, retailer, distributor, manufacturer, public, private. So, but it is clear that you cannot focus on all of them at the same time. So as a manufacturer, we decided to focus on 3, 4, 5, 8, 12, and 14. From there, we started talking about an actual sustainability roadmap. And a roadmap is actually a document that defines the organization's priorities, its goals, and its purpose. So a sustainability roadmap is a plan that's defined step by step. It should include long-term goals, so it's not built on short-term gains. And it should be based on your business model, on your DNA, so it is truly your story, your own story. At our side, we've been guided by the Pet Sustainability Coalition. For those who have not heard of PSC before, I am a true fan because they are the only not-for-profit organization active in our pet industry, and they guide and educate pet companies in their roadmap and how to create positive impact. They offer a ton of expertise, so they are truly a valuable organization to turn to. If I see it right, I see Anne Klein present in the group, so you can probably reach out to her in the chat or directly at PSC. They are using a specific assessment tool. It's developed by B Lab and United Nations. So it's a great assessment tool to identify the next steps in your journey, the next steps that you need to take action on. And once you have completed the assessment, you get a full report with recommendations that are specifically written on your journey. So that's what we did. And we had seen that the recommendations reconfirmed that we need a big focus on the source of our raw materials used. So we, back in 2018, with our Moderna Green Pact, we initiated a chapter that was initiating the move from linear towards a circular economy. And we had always been talking about the 4 R's. So re-educating, reduce, reuse, and recycle. Re-educating, there is a lot of re-educating to do, not only on greenwashing, but we know it's a complex matter. So if we really want to know what we're talking about, it's important that we get the decent explanation. Reduce, we highly value reduce because we need that if we want to reduce our footprint, our impact. We need to massively reduce our consumption. And that's why Moderna is fully focusing on products of high quality that last a long time. And after that, there is also reuse. We are not developing any single-use item, so only products that can be reused and, of course, reused for a long time. When we have exhausted all of this, then comes recycle, because most people think about sustainability or life cycle. We already jump to, or too soon we jump to recycle, but there's a lot of things that we need to do prior to that. This idea or this strategy is illustrated by this image, and it's called the value hill. So when you want to move from the linear economy to the circular economy, you need not only to focus on what's on the left side of the image, but also what's on the right side. In the linear economy, we kindly focus only on what you see on the left side. So we take raw materials, we manufacture them, we use resources, energy, water, we pack them, we ship them, so we use logistics. And we are fully focused on how we are going to get on top of that hill. We were completely ignoring what's going to happen after that, so the end of life of the product. But in the circular economy, we need to include the right side of that hill. So you see at the bottom recycle, but again, you also see that before recycle, there's a lot we can do to maintain the value in our supply chain and in our value chain. So there is repair, there is reuse, refurbish, remanufacture. So it's crucial to include when you are innovating new products. It's crucial that you integrate that in the briefing when you start designing a product. That's the eco-design thinking is part of that initial briefing, because otherwise you will not fully get to that circular economy. We are very proud to communicate our 2023 results. We have been shifting or doing the exercise, the shift from using virgin plastic to material from recycled content. So we are proud to share with you that today 30% of our raw materials come from recycled content. And in our moving forward, we know that this is the crucial change or the crucial impact that we can do to reduce our footprint. We know that a final goal is actually how are we going to get to net zero? So the next step, if you want to know, you need to measure. And that's what we started. We had that plan a while already, a couple of years actually. It was part of our Moderna Green Pact. But in 2022, we moved to our brand new facility. So we decided it would not make sense to do all the calculations and all the measurements in our old buildings. We truly wanted to have a decent baseline from which then we could grow and make further improvements. So after the quick wins and prioritizing our actions, it was big time starting measuring after we had moved. The move was focused on sustainability, so it's clear that also in our building, we use it as we call it a smart building because we used a lot of sustainable materials and efforts. One of them is that we have opted for an automated high bay warehouse to optimally use the footprint. So on less than 3,000 square meters, we can store 12,500 pallets. So that is already a move in the right direction. That high bay does not need heating nor lighting, so that's also reducing our impact. We have offices on 4 levels, so we're also using optimum the footprint. Sustainably built, we have chosen for a concrete structure, so it's better isolating walls, roofs, and windows. All of our windows are oriented north for that reason, because in summer you don't need to cool as much, so that helps. We use a lot of natural light, also not only windows, but also skylights in the roofs. And we have implemented a system of natural ventilation for more comfort in the entire building. We use a lot of solar energy. You're going to see that in a couple of images later on. And all of our lights are sensored LED lights. Next to the building, we have chosen to get a sustainable production process. So we are shifting our machinery to full electric machines. We are using free cooling, which is basically using the outside air for cooling without implementing extra chillers. We are transporting our raw material just one time. So every machine is linked to our tank, our silos where the raw materials are stored. So that also helps. And we have kept an isolated really in as detached from our production building, an isolated building where we keep all our noise and dust generating machinery in order again to provide a clean and silent workspace for the production team. A couple of images. So I talked about having solar energy on the roof. Our roof is full of solar panels, 6,153 to be precise. So they provide us with 30% of our annual energy that we need. A couple of images on the left side, you see a schematic for the technical people amongst you to illustrate that we have no gas supply in our building. So to heat our offices and our entire building, basically, we heat it with recovered heat from our production sites. And on the right side, you see that a small calculation illustrates that when we are collecting the rainwater for all our toilet flushing, a quick calculation, if 90 people use the bathroom twice a day and do that 300 days a year, it's saving us 378,000 liters of drinkable water. So yes, I talked about if you want to know, you need to measure. And the first step in that process was the actual footprint. We needed to start mapping out all of our emissions. You have probably heard about the greenhouse gas protocol. So they are talking about scope 1, scope 2, and scope 3. We did a calculation with an external consulting company who accompanied us in getting the right information because it involved our entire green team. We have a green team where there is knowledge from every department in our organization. So on scope 1, it's the direct emissions. Scope 2 and 3 are indirect emissions, but we're going to see that in the next overview. So that's what we've done. The report of our carbon footprint was a 40-page thick report where everything is neatly detailed and explained. I guess for you to know, basically is the final schematic of our emissions. So as a manufacturer, our total emissions are 9,444, divided over scope 1, 2, and 3. When we look at scope 1, it's very small. So 1.2 stands for mobile combustion, and that's actually considering the production of the fuel for our company cars. Then we have scope 2. That's the energy we need for our production site. So since we generate 30% of our electricity through the solar panels we have on the roof, we see that number is 538. If we would not have had solar, that number would have been a lot larger. I'm thinking for calculation would be 800 and something. Then scope 3, a little bit more complicated because scope 3 considers upstream and downstream. On the upstream side, we have a big impact because mostly regarding the purchased goods and services, and that's actually all of our raw materials we buy, the plastic resin, the packaging material, and all sorts of that. I'm going to explain you a little bit later about the impact we have when we use recycled material versus virgin material. But first, quickly go through the rest of the numbers. 3.2 is capital goods, and that's considering the building, the materials we have used in our building, machines, printers, all of the things that we need for production, and the production of the company cars itself. So the production of the fuel is in scope 1, and production of the car itself is in scope 2. Then we see that 3.3 is dealing with the fuel activities, and 14 comes from the purchase of the company car fuel. That's in, you can find in 3.3. Upstream transportation is about the incoming transport of all the goods and services we buy. It's because we buy our raw material locally, meaning the biggest part comes from maximum 250 kilometers from our production site. So that keeps the number considerably low. Also, waste generated in our operations, we recycle everything that we want to discard of. So cardboard, plastics, iron. So that keeps that number considerably low as well. Business travel is for the travel of our sales team. And then 3.7 is the employee commuting, 26. And that's considering the production of private cars of the people that work here and their fuel emissions. Then we have downstream number, in all honesty, and that's what we are declaring as well in the report. We have opted not to disclose fully our downstream impact because honestly, we don't have all the numbers yet. True, we could have looked for them, but that would have taken us a lot more time again, and we didn't want to wait. So we said, instead of being complete, let's actually start and progress step by step and make sure by the time we are compliant for our non-financial reporting that we are fully comfortable with the numbers we put in. 3.12 is talking about the end of life of our products. Since all of our products are 100% recyclable, that's the factor that's being used for this calculation. After this, all these calculations, the consultant also comes with improvement actions or measures. It was very clear that moving from virgin plastic to recycled has a big impact. For numbers, the same impact is considered for 1,000 kilogram of virgin plastic. You can process 10,000 kilograms of recycled. So it's very clear that if we all want to reduce our footprint, we need to further develop that path with using recycled plastic. So it means for the entire industry focusing on how are we going to recycle, how are we going to make raw materials that those plastic manufacturers can use. Another measure for improvement was if we buy our electricity. We have noticed that we do not buy fully green electricity, so that's on the plan to shift from gray electricity that we buy to green electricity. But most important, after doing this whole calculation, when we decided we're going to do it in our new building, we could find ourselves a number, a benchmark, so we can make further progress and year after year see how we are evolving. So we have seen that the biggest impact comes from our material we use. It's a very objective number. The amount of kilograms we process in our plant is very mathematic. So with this report, we came to a number and it is 2.14 CO2 per kilogram of polypropylene. So moving forward, we should be able to bring that number down, and then we know that we are on the right path. Lining up all the efforts that we have done so far. So we have accomplished having 38% of recycled content in our products, knowing that our products are still 100% recyclable. We are using 30% of renewable energy through our solar panels on the roof. We are collecting our sky water, saving those 378,000 liters of drink water per year. We are also electrifying our company car fleet, so we should be able to have that fully electrified in 2 years. And we offer charging stations at our production site for e-cars, for team members at cost, and free for e-bikes. Remember, we do not have any gas consumption. We have no meter, no supply, so that's very easy. There's none. But we reuse all the excess heat to heat our buildings. The lights we use are all LED and are censored. We use a lot of natural light. Our building is insulated and offers a lot of natural ventilation. We have a covered parking for cars, which allows people to have a cool car in the summer and a not frozen one in the winter. We have a cozy cafeteria and spacey and clean washrooms. We have that back building where we keep all the machines that are generating any noise or dust, so we can offer, our team members are able to work in a silent and clean environment. We have a monthly meeting. It's called CPBW, where we have representatives of all the different departments and where we discuss questions, issues, suggestions, all kinds of matters that people want to have discussed in the group. So that's a monthly meeting we have there. And we highly value our social health. So we have afterworks, we offer sport at work, and we offer fruit at work. We are not driven by legislation in our entire sustainability plan, but we do know that we will be compliant in 2026 for our non-financial reporting. So when we start looking at the SEEP or KEEP or however you call it, Circular Economy Action Plan, we are confronted with a lot of words like green claims, CSRD, EU Green Deal, EFRAG, double materiality, EPR, CBAM, and a dozen more. I could only advise, don't let yourself be discouraged. Don't look at too many at the same time, but try to find out what is important to you, what matters to your stakeholders, and just start your action plan so you can make progress. And that's what we've done. So we are proud of sharing with you our very first sustainability report. We gathered all the information we had, and we did that based on the GRI standards. So our report is written, that's how they call it, in reference to GRI, and it stands for the Global Reporting Initiative. For people who don't know what GRI stands for, it's a global standard for impact reporting. It's worldwide used. It's freely available, and 75% of the largest companies in the world are reporting. It's a very handy tool to have. The index that you can report to is very long. We've decided that, or we've learned that we were not able today to include all of them, but at least we've started, and we have chosen this standard. And it's important to know that you keep reporting to the same standard moving forward, because otherwise you will not be able to compare different years or your progress if you start shifting different standards. So going back to our report, let me try to share that report with you. Just a minute. You should probably see the report now. For everybody to know, it's publicly, it's published on our website. So even after this, you can go have a look at what it is and explore more of the details. I'm going to run through it a little bit because you can actually also read it, and it's offering a ton of information, but I will gladly guide you through it. In the beginning, you see the table of contents we reported to. On the right side, you see the page, the actual page of where you can find that information. On the left side, you might see the funny numbers, but that's actually the numbers of the GRI index. So if you're looking for a specific item that we would be reporting to, you can find that here. So scrolling through it, as said, we are reporting in reference to GRI. It's holding general disclosures stating that it's only considering the information on our Belgian plant. We've decided to do on Belgian plant first because we are still improving our US plant. And then we're talking about sustainability in the sense of building, so solar panels, energy, etc. So that's to follow, but it's not included in this report. We are explaining that since we have moved to a new building and we decided to wait until we could have that measured and baselined for the future, it's a funny reporting period. It starts July 1st, 2022, and it ends June 30th, 2023. But it is 12 months. It's a full year. So it has all seasons. And moving forward, we are now going to report the full year of 24, which would allow us to have a non-financial reporting and a financial reporting that's on the calendar year, that they are both aligned. We like external assurance audits and credits. So we've had that for our raw materials, our recycled materials that we are using, but also for our carbon footprint report. We have a new line of PET transporters be using for air transportation. So we had them certified by Intertek, all their specific features. We are a member of PSC, and they offer third-party certification for your sustainability journey. So we also are accredited for that progress we have made. 2.6 is talking about our value chain and our business relationships. So you find all the details in there. What else do we have? 2.7 is talking about team members. So most of our team members are on our payroll, but exceptionally, we also might have some external people that bring specific knowledge for a specific time. We call it our mixed teams. So that's how we are looking at a specific job or requirement within our organization. And here you see an image of one of our funny action plans we have by cleaning our environment together. 2.9 is talking about our governance, how we are structured, how our management team is set up. So you can read all of that. And this is a good example to see we are jumping from 2.9 to 217 and 222. It means that the numbers in between are either not relevant to our organization, or we might not have had the necessary information to report to. But we are glad we have this, and we are committed to building on that moving forward. 222 is clearly explaining all of our sustainability development strategy, where we came from, how we did things, why we did things. And on certain pages, you see reference to the sustainability development goals. So here again, you see that we have chosen for 3, 4, 5, 8, 12, and 14. And key word in our entire strategy is still betterness, explaining that everything we do needs to be better than before on our sustainability journey. Our policy commitments is basically talking about our values that we have, how we interact with everybody, with all our stakeholders. So that's explained in this topic. 228 about our memberships we have. So again, PSC, accredited by PSC, APPA, and then our local UNISO organization in Belgium, we're a member of. How do we engage with our stakeholders? Mostly through trade shows and events. So here are a couple of them that we have shown that are relevant to the reporting period, of course. 230 is about collective bargaining agreements. So by law, Belgium has a specific method of making sure that everybody makes the decent and right amount of money. So wages are already regulated by the government. Talking about material topics, we've seen that using recycled material is crucial and key in our sustainability journey. So we started that studying in 2018 and measuring in 2020. So we see in 2020 it was 5% of our inflow. 2021 we raised it to 10, then to 20, and today it's at 38 and increasing. We've got that audited and certified by a third-party organization. So we can also share this with our customers, and they can share it with their stakeholders. 302, talking about energy. So here again, we are explaining that we have no gas. We are generating electricity ourselves through our solar panels. 303 is talking about water, how we manage our water consumption. We are not using any water in our production process, so that already helps and significantly drops that number. But important to show that we are also collecting the rainwater, of course. 304, biodiversity. Since we have moved to a brand new location, you cannot see it now, but it's situated alongside a canal with some natural and green zones. So we are committed to maintaining them and making sure that everybody can have a enjoyable atmosphere, not only us humans, but also the insects that are living in there. And that's why we've installed a beehive that's going to improve that entire, or support and improve that entire plan. 305, emissions. Here again, this is talking about the whole carbon footprint calculation and reporting, long and wide explained on these pages. Employment, if we are looking for new team members, we map them out, and we want to make sure that gender equality is some sort in balance. So we see that 45-55 for us is a good balance as a manufacturing company. 403, occupational health and safety. We highly value safety, a safe environment for our team members. So we make sure they get the necessary training to do their job, but also fire, we call it first aid, rescue, and all that in that environment. Make sure that all systems are in place. We also promote a healthy lifestyle. So we do organize sport at work, fruit at work, and some spontaneous initiatives. Thanks to that, we are proud to report that we have no work-related injuries and no work-related illnesses during the reporting period, and we would love to keep it that way. 404 is talking about training and education. We want to make sure that everybody has the right skill set to do their job, and it's monitored through different team members together and their supervisor. We have also annual, we call it interviews, where we check with every team member, do you have everything you need to do your job? What else can we support you with? And are you still okay having fun in doing what you're doing? Diversity, not only by gender, but here it's mapped out by nationality. So it's a quite colorful team we have. Child labor, we want to make a clear statement that we will not be employing a person under the age of 15, but we also make sure that our suppliers are compliant with that rule because we think it's very important. And that's why we have supplier social assessments. So we have a supplier code of conduct we are using for new suppliers that are being screened, and also the social reports made up. So that was a run through our report. Let me try to get back to you. I don't know if you're seeing this. Just wait a minute. Going back to the report. You should be able to see my full screen now again. Going back to mission future proof, I guess that's why we are all doing this. We've realized sustainability has come to stay. It's not going to disappear. And that's good because it is increasing our supply chain resilience. We need to look at the positive side. It is increasing our consumer awareness and the confidence in our brands. It's creating competitive advantages to people that highly value those sustainability topics. It's attracting and retaining top talent. And if you would be looking at investors, they would also be very interested in knowing what you're doing on the sustainability side and how far you are in the journey. I said that Moderna is not driven by legislation, but by DNA. But nevertheless, we know that we will need to be compliant in 2026. So all of that makes you meet your goals on the increasing legislation and on the reporting requirements. We have learned along the way that if we share our scope 1 and 2 results with pet parents by offering them lower carbon options, it's highly appreciated because everybody wants to do good, be good, especially for their pets and the entire environment. There are a lot of excuses people use. Some words of advice I can give: if you say it's too expensive, remember that a sustainability map is a long-term goal and not short-term thinking. If you would say this is not for us, I would say grab the opportunity, because it's really a distinguishing factor. I can understand that as is okay, but it also means that status quo means going backwards. So if you're adding to it, if you feel that this is so complex, the longer you wait, the bigger the backlog is going to be. Remember, if you want to know, you need to measure. So we initially had a lot of quick wins and a lot of smart ways to move forward, but at a certain point, you really need to measure it, where you can objectively decide what are your next steps. And the step-by-step plan allows you to celebrate your wins in between and encourages you and your team to move forward. You need to focus. You cannot shoot at everything at the same time. So share that with the team so they all know where you are heading and where you are going. And it is truly a direction to future-proof. So it is going to distinguish you in your industry. Our next step for us is guide our customers in their sustainability journey by reducing also their footprint, if we can reduce ours, and reduce their footprint by offering our knowledge and sustainable alternatives. Know that nobody can do this alone. We need to partner up. So that's why I'd like to refer to SDG 17, which is partnership, that we will need to be. We're all in this together, so we'll need to do this together. Thank you for your attention. If you need extra information, always happy to help. You have some coordinates here. Since it's recorded, you will be able to find it back, and we will gladly assist you or help you.